Welcome, one and all, to the newest episode of Ready, Set, Rewatch, where we are continuing our trek watching Star Trek, the original series. I am Skylar, and this is Daniel.
What's up, everybody?
Daniel, today we are talking about two more episodes. Those episodes being Metamorphosis and Journey to Babel. How'd you feel about these episodes overall, surface?
Well, I don't want to give away too much, but I really liked one of them.
I think I liked one and a half of them.
You know what? And I agree.
Maybe like 1.4, if anything.
I would say, like, for me, 1 3/4.
So,
and I think we're talking about the same thing.
maybe, yeah. We're gonna get into it. Let's not waste any time. Let's just jump straight into this thing with Metamorphosis. What are we doing, and why are we back on a shuttle? We need to stop taking these shuttles.
We need to stop taking these shuttles, and specifically, we need to stop taking this shuttle because it's the Galileo
It's
again.
the Galileo again.
Every time we get on the Galileo, it explodes, and I don't know what the situation is. We probably should have renamed them after like different explorers or scientists or whatever. There was a second one at some point that was called something different, and I don't remember what it was. Columbus, maybe? I don't remember. It was some shit.
Another explorer.
But we gotta stop using Galileo. That thing's cursed.
Yeah, definitely after this.
So we start on the Galileo with Kirk, Spock, Bones, and a new friend named Nancy Hedford, who is a commissioner, which I think is supposed to be like, I don't think that's the right term, because what she is she's a diplomat whose job was to stop a war, and I don't think that's what commissioners do. That's not, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's not the job.
How was she gonna stop a war? Like Jane Fonda?
Yeah, okay. I guess. Or was it Florence Nightingale or whatever?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, she was trying to stop a war, and she had to get removed from doing that because she has to go get medical treatment for a very rare disease called Sokuro's disease.
She starts complaining because she got sick. She caught this disease because she didn't get vaxxed, and she blames Starfleet for that.
Which is interesting because so is Starfleet anti-vax? Because they didn't give it to her. And Bones' reaction is not that we don't have a vaccine for it. His reaction is it's 1 in a billion that you would get it.
But she got it.
Our population in the future times has got to be a lot of billions at this point. At some point they say that they're across like 1,000 planets or some shit. So like, yeah, man, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's including other races, though. I think
that's true. I guess we don't know if there's other races, like Vulcans are immune to Sokuro's disease.
Yeah, we don't.
This is likely the only episode in which it appears. So
probably.
So who really cares? But on the way, the shuttle encounters a weird glowy holographic thing that's like vaguely eye-shaped, but it's not an eye. And I have to specify that because we've encountered body parts in space before.
I said, uh-oh, the skybox is broken.
Uh-oh, we got a glitch. And it's coming at them at warp speed, and it then captures them and forces them to land on a planet that we then very quickly find out is actually a planetoid. And they say it's like a part of a planet that exploded, maybe? Because it's in an asteroid field, and they say that it's just part of a planet that is, I guess, big enough to still have an atmosphere, which is lucky, I guess. Mm-hmm. Because it is still inhabitable. And they start scanning the planet, and they find that the ship, while completely undamaged, it doesn't work. And that the weird holographic cloud thing is on the planet. They're able to tell those two things from some very quick scans. And then, just as they finish those scans, a hot guy with very blue eyes comes running out of the distance and introduces himself as as Cochrane.
Oh, he's waving from far. Hello. It's an interesting shot too, because it's a forced perspective thing. You can kind of tell by looking at it, but also I did see that in the trivia. I didn't write it down as one of my trivia things though, so I'll just talk about it now. They did a forced perspective with some like rocks close to the camera. I'm assuming they just like wanted to make it appear that we had a more depth of field.
Yeah, a bigger soundstage.
than we actually had access to. So it's a neat shot.
He then basically immediately hits on Nancy, which is funny. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, immediately he's like, "Hello, gents, and a
And a
woman."
woman, because he's been stranded here for, we're gonna find out, quite some time. And so I guess he's like, oh my god, a woman, because it's the 60s, and so in the 60s
When
it's
you see
okay
a
to say
woman,
things like awooga
you're
awooga and have your
you
eyes pop out of your head.
you turn into a cartoon fox and start whistling. Yeah.
And he tells them that their ship won't work because there's a dampening field. But he seems really cagey about how that works and how he knows about that, and also who he is and how he got here, which is a good sign for a Star Trek episode.
Yeah, you know.
Kirk has Spock show Cochrane the ship, and he takes the opportunity while Cochrane is not paying attention to talk to Bones about how he definitely seems familiar.
He looks familiar.
Which,
should I have seen him before in a history textbook?
yeah, as we know, Kirk is a big history buff, so that should
history.
be enough of a giveaway of like, this guy is a person, like this guy matters in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cochrane shows them to his house, which is shockingly well built considering that he claimed to have been marooned here. Because it's not like a lean-to or like something that you could conceivably have crafted. It's like a house. Like it's a, it looks like a full-on shelter. You know what I mean? Like it is a home. And then they go in and it's full of like fully upholstered chairs. He's got glassware and shit. And he's like, I made all this from sticks and hooks. And you're like, no, you fucking, what? No, you didn't.
I mean, he is a scientist, as we come to find out. He's basically like living the plot of The Martian.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The book and
but
the
hornier
movie with Matt Damon. Yes, he has some horny bits to it as well, but also The Martian, if Matt Damon could just craft whatever he wanted out of thin air, apparently.
Yeah,
it's a, as far as like marooned let's go. This is 5 stars.
It's like a luxury resort. Like it's nice. Nancy then starts coming down with a fever, which is the first sign of her Sakuro's disease taking hold. And our crew sees a light appear on the yard, and they ask Cochrane what it is. And at first he tries to deny it, and he's like, sometimes you'd be seeing stuff out here. And then immediately fails to follow through on that, and he's like, that's so I call it the companion that brought me here, and it made me young again. I was an old man and it made me a baby again.
All right, let's circle back to that. I will say, when Nancy said that it was like too hot, and then Cochrane said it's only like 72 degrees or something, I I had this really stupid thought. I was like, whoa, does the Star Trek future, are all these people like acclimated to colder temperatures for some reason because they live in space?
Yeah.
And then Bones was like, no, she's got a fever, dipshit.
She's got a fever.
I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I just love knowing that Starfleet still uses Fahrenheit.
Yeah, as they should.
Yeah.
The true metric.
Yeah, that's right. Get bent Celsius.
Get out of here. Fuck you, Kelvin.
Cochrane then also reveals that his first name is Zephram, which Kirk recognizes and makes him the inventor of the warp drive.
Yeah, you're not going to forget a motherfucker named Zephram.
Zephram's a weird name. We've encountered some weird names in this universe. Zephram's up there. He says he was 87 years old and went into space because he was like, well, I'm going to die. Might as well do it in space because I'm the guy who invented space travel, basically.
Makes sense.
I was disappointed to hear that in the far future, 87 is still an age where you're like, I'm going to die soon.
Yeah.
Because doesn't Picard live to be like 150 or some shit?
I think, yeah. Well, obviously the show Star Trek Picard, he's old.
Right.
I don't know how old he is in that, but Bones lives to be super old. In the pilot for Next Gen, DeForest Kelley has a cameo as Bones. He's already an old man, but they put him in more old man makeup to like look super old. He's like 160 or something. So
medical science makes some big breakthroughs between this and Next Gen.
Yeah, well, no, because that's he was even further back in time. So
that's true. Because we do immediately find out that he's been here for 150 years. So maybe we are already ahead of that. So, okay, so between 150 years before TOS and Next Gen, there's some big medical breakthroughs.
Yeah. I also want to say something about this Zephram Cochrane character.
Is it how blue his eyes are? Because golly.
Oh, yeah, well, he's got some baby blues. But no, this is not his only appearance.
Huh? Have we seen him already before, or are we going to see him again?
We have not seen him before. I do mean the character, not the actor.
Oh, huh?
We have not seen him before. We do see him again, but not the same actor.
Interesting.
Um, I think we see him in an episode of Next Gen, but most importantly, at least to me, he is in one of the movies. He's in First Contact,
Ah,
where he's played by James Cromwell. If you know that actor.
the name sounds familiar, but also Cromwell is just the name of the witches from Halloween Town.
That's true.
So
Um, I'm
that's
not,
where I'm getting my information from, is from Disney Channel original movies.
I won't. I won't go into every James Cromwell was in. You and the listeners can look him up at your leisure. But he appears in First Contact, which does include some light time travel,
Okay.
and we go back to when he invents the warp drive, which
Oh,
leads to our first contact with, spoilers, the Vulcans.
can I tell you a piece of trivia that I learned about
Oh
this
yes.
character and a future appearance of him?
Oh
Is
yes.
he also shows up, him and the companion both show up in a comic book that's like sort of a sequel to this episode
That's crazy.
that I read, and it's not very good.
What what's he? Oh, you read it. You were like, I need more. I
I looked it up.
need a
Yeah.
happier ending than what I'm seeing right
It's
now.
and let me tell you, it's not. But it's interesting. 'Cause the comic book is from the 70s, so it's not
Mm,
like new, really.
right.
I guess I can't really say what happens in it without spoiling what's about to happen in the episode. But basically,
We'll circle back to that.
sure, okay, sure. Cochrane then also says that it's his fault that they are there because apparently he told the companion that he was going to die. The glowy light, for those who have forgotten while we were talking about Cromwell witches or whatever. He told the companion that he was lonely and he was thinking that telling it that would allow him to leave, but instead it just grabbed other people and was like, "You're not lonely anymore, right?" So, oops.
So, for a couple things to note here. One,
Yeah,
when gets serious and he's like, "You tell me what's going on,"
yeah.
and Cromwell says, "You're not gonna like it." Kirk has a great line where he says, "I already don't like it."
I already don't like it.
So it's a
The
great,
episodes
great Kirkism here.
episodes like this are my favorite Kirk. Where
Oh,
he's
when he's
like,
just
this is
annoyed.
this is nonsense and I'm done with it, is my favorite flavor of Kirk. Horny
That is when
Kirk,
he's at his
don't care
absolute
for
best.
it.
No, no,
But annoyed Kirk or it's time to like get into a fight Kirk, 10 out of 10. Love that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Uh, Another thing that I'll mention, which goes into my first actual trivia that I do have written down.
Ooh.
There's a shot here while Cochrane is explaining the the deal with the companion and everything that's going on. We do get a shot of Nancy where she's just kind of looking confused or sad or sick. We'll say sick because she
Sick.
is sick.
Sure.
But I noticed it was an odd shot because it looked like it was most just a still image. It
Mm.
looked like it was at most 2 or 3 frames playing really
Really
slowly.
slow.
For those of you wondering why they might do such a thing, well, that's trivia number one. So a couple of the scenes involving Nancy, the actress's name is Eleanor Donahue. They had to be reshot because the original film negatives were damaged somehow and
Oh,
just couldn't be used.
that's
So
unfortunate.
they had to actually like rebuild sets of this planet, and so I'm assuming that they were like, we need a reaction shot here of the lady,
Hmm.
and we only have this one reaction from her, and it happens in a second where she like starts having like a full like panic attack kind of. So they were like just took the first spot of
Mm.
that footage and just stretched it. And they're like, there we go, that's a reaction. I think that's what must have happened.
And I would love to make fun of that, but I didn't notice it. So at least for me, it worked.
It also says that in between the original shoot and when they had to reshoot the scenes, Eleanor Donahue like got pneumonia and lost 10 pounds.
She got actually sick.
Yeah. And so to hide that she was like 10 pounds skinnier, they just put a scarf on her head. So
Oh,
that's why sometimes she's got a scarf around her neck.
yeah. I thought it was just a bad fashion choice, but all right. Anyway, when he says all this about him being the reason why they get stuck there, Nancy then starts freaking out. It truly, like you said, it's like an anxiety attack or something. Like she's not really making a ton of sense other than like freaking out that an alien being has kidnapped them, basically, which is fair, I guess. Maybe I'm just used to it because it's not the first time this has happened.
Well, we've seen some stuff.
But she's covered wars, so she should be better than this.
That's good. I like that.
Thank you. Spock goes to fix the Galileo, but the companion shows up behind him and electrocutes the shit out of him, and then destroys part of the ship. And also, when it does electrocute him, Spock does a funny little jump, and he throws himself into the dirt.
That is funny. I neglected to mention, too, that upon being told that this little space fart not only, like, kidnapped Cochrane and made him younger, but is now not letting us leave for one reason or another. Kirk's first thing is he says, "Spock, get me my gun,"
which is fair. I'm gonna shoot this cloud. I swear to God, I'm gonna shoot this cloud.
great Kirk stuff going on. And then the space fart attacks Spock.
Unacceptable. Cochrane then summons the companion, which he says he can just do. He says he goes out and he just clears his mind, and then the thing shows up, and then they can like communicate telepathically to some extent. But Cochrane summons the companion, which then envelops him. And Kirk and Bones say the thing must love him. Like they immediately can tell that this is a relationship that is more than just like a person holding them captive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At first, I think Kirk says like it looks like a person with a beloved pet, but then they're like, no, wait a minute. They feel like the attention that the companion is giving Cochrane is like a romantic love, which turns out to be right, but I don't really know how they got there.
If there's one thing that James T. Kirk can sense from a mile away, it's horny, even if it's coming from a cloud.
I'm holding on to it once we get to a very specific detail about the companion, but
I'm
saving something.
He then tells them the companion cannot help Miss Hedford, which, as a spoiler, is a lie. Bones finds Spock, who tells him the companion is electrical, so they can short it out. This next part goes real fast, because in the next cut, he's at the house with a machine to do exactly that.
He's good at his job.
But Cochrane doesn't like it. He's like, I don't know, man, this thing's been taking care of me for 150 years. I don't really necessarily want you to kill this thing. And they're like, well, we need to leave. So it might not kill it. And we're going to try.
Basically told him to shut up.
Yeah, which is fair.
Shut the hell up.
And he was right to do it. Cochrane then summons the companion again, and Spock flips the switch, but it doesn't do anything. It just makes the companion red and mad, and then it zips into the house and starts killing Spock and Kirk, to which Bones stands by and goes, "Stop it, you're choking him. You're choking him. You got to stop it.
Can't you see you're killing him?"
And the companion, I assume, is going, "Yeah, that's the idea, buddy."
I'm angry.
Cochrane then calls the companion off, and then and only then they decide to try and talk to it using the universal translator MacGuffin that has been on the shuttle the whole time.
Darn, should have thought to bring that earlier.
And then finally, like halfway through this episode, we get a cut to the Enterprise and see what's going on over there. And Scotty, being presumably the only white man with a name left on the ship, has been left in charge. And is looking for the Galileo. They find a trail of antimatter, and they decide to follow that.
At this point, our beloved Montgomery Scott has to be thinking, we have to stop using the damn shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
Every time we do, bad shite happens.
He's been on... he was at least on that first mission, wasn't he, where the Galileo went down? So he
was
knows.
There,
yeah. Back on the planet, they are able to talk to the companion, who, guess what, has a lady voice. And so
it's a lady space fart. And the second Kirk hears this, he's like, all right, stand back, gentlemen. I got this.
And so they're like, oh, so clearly it's in love with Cochrane, which is correct. But I feel like, again, kind of a leap. But, we've only got an hour, so we gotta keep going. So Kirk uses the translator to ask to be let go. And the companion says, no, you have to stay here to keep my pet, the man, happy. She just keeps calling him the man, which is, I feel strange. The companion should know this person's name after 150 years.
Maybe she doesn't know what a name is.
Maybe. And Kirk tries to convince her. He's like, oh, if we're in captivity, we'll die in captivity. We don't like captivity. And then it like leaves and they go into the house and Cochrane is disgusted at the idea of this thing loving him. He's like, this thing is holding me here as a boyfriend. I thought I was like, I don't know. He just finds out that he's been like a sex toy, I guess. Maybe.
This whole sequence is amazing, actually, because earlier he was like, I don't want this killed. And then as soon as he finds out that it loves him, I guess he might feel a little molested.
Well,
maybe
he does at one point say it like he let it crawl around inside him, and I think he means his mind, but like the phrasing is very.
I don't think he means his mind. All right. First things first.
Yeah,
they're like, dude, can't you see this thing is in love with you? And he's like, what? No.
Yeah.
He can't tell when a woman likes him, so he's just like me for real. But then, yeah, once he accepts the fact, he immediately goes full tsundere.
Right. Yeah. And then Nancy, like, while dying in bed, is like, I can't believe that he would be so mad about that thing loving him. Like, I didn't have love in my life. I wish I did. And that's her entire input on the situation.
Her delirium is turning her into like a woman yearning to be a housewife.
A YA novel character.
Like, no, you're a politician. You have a good career.
You have a job to do.
You're better than this.
Back on the Enterprise again, they find an asteroid field, and they start searching them for the crew. And they're like, "There's a lot of asteroids, Scotty." And he's like, "Yeah, and we're gonna search them."
We're gonna search They must hate when Scotty's in charge.
Yeah, or Spock, because I think he did a similar thing at one point.
Spock would definitely, but they have to accept that. They're like, "Come on, Scotty, can't we just?" Captain's probably dead.
He's probably dead. They have to go and pick him up though, because Spock is also down there, and they can't lose both of them. Too much value lost. They're like, if both of them leave the show, we all lose our jobs.
Absolutely.
Then Cochrane says they can never love each other. Or sorry, no, Kirk says this. They're back outside, like talking to the thing again. It's just, we go inside to be like, I don't like that the thing loves me. And then as soon as we cut back, they're back outside. And also, I think it's nighttime or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But he's like, you can never truly love him because you're gas, and you can't understand love because you're not human. And she's like, so if I was human, I could love.
He's like, yes, of course.
He's like, sure. And then the companion then disappears. And a minute later, Nancy walks out of the house, now possessed by the companion. So, and this is where the episode loses me.
Yeah, this is... And it didn't have to lose us here is the problem.
Yeah.
Because the companion, this space entity, doesn't just take over Nancy, completely like folds in like a deck of cards, personality and body and physicality. It just merges with her completely. So the companion is gone. Nancy is gone.
They're both basically dead.
And now
mostly
there's
Nancy.
This new life form. And most importantly, without Nancy's consent. If Nancy was like, I could feel my life slipping away, join with me, space entity, and then boom, then it's a different story. But Nancy didn't get a say in the matter. She's basically dead.
And also, now Nancy's also being like forced into this relationship with Cochrane, and she didn't show any interest in him at all.
She was not vibing with him at all.
She was not interested.
She was here for like 2 seconds, and he was just like, "Oh, woman, do you want to take a bath, woman?"
A woman.
He did ask her if he wanted to bathe.
Yeah. Would you like to get naked in my house?
And she was like, "Absolutely no, I don't." But now this entity has like warped her brain chemistry to be like, "Yeah, I'll marry you. I'll stay." And if from here we went on to a resolution that was like, we get the entity to release Nancy. Nancy's cured. She can go off and whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not what happens. Spoilers. This new being stays completely merged.
Right.
And that is the quote unquote happy ending.
Right. Well, and I do want to make clear they're merged, but it's like 80% the companion, 20% Nancy. Like Nancy, the companion is like kind of still a thing. Nancy's dead. It feels more like the companion murdered Nancy and like absorbed her memories.
More or less.
So that's pretty cool.
And what makes it worse is Cochrane's like, Well, I'd marry her now, sure.
Right. Well, and
It's like,
also,
no, skis.
so now we know it's a lie. Also, that the companion couldn't have just made Nancy not die because she goes in and fixes the problem. She doesn't have the disease anymore. She can reverse a person from 85 to like 30 whatever. Yeah, I'm sure she can cure this disease, and then she does, but she just lied. Maybe because before she was Nancy, she was afraid of the competition that Nancy posed by being a woman of the same species as her person she was in love with.
This is messed up. And I need to stress, up until this point, I was really digging this episode.
Yeah, me too. I was like, it's pretty good. And here's maybe the worst part of this. So they're now one person. They've like done the merge, and now they're one guy. And then, so her and Cochran like go off on a whimsical nature walk where she tells him that she still can't leave the planet. She's like, I'll die if I leave the planet. And he's like, oh, well, then I guess I'll still continue to stay here on this planet with you forever because now you have a vagina, I guess.
Now I have a way to have sex with you now.
Yeah.
Well, gee.
Now you're piloting the corpse of a dead woman. Now I am okay staying here with you.
Well.
And they really thought this was romantic. The writers were like, that'll get them. The women will love this one.
I need Kirk to look at the camera and say, this is horrible. This is awful.
Just be like, I get the fuck out of here. But no, instead what he says is, I think Bones is like, what about the war? Who's going to go stop the war? And Kirk is like, I'm sure we can find another woman to stop
someone
that.
Else. Yeah, we'll get someone else.
We'll find some other lady and she can do it. I'm like, what the hell? Like, a woman just died and no one cares.
Whoops.
And I also just wanted, like, because what I kept thinking this whole time was, I was like, okay, Cochran was like 87 when he left. Did he not have a family? Does he not have a wife or kids out there somewhere? Do we find out that he has them in the movie or whatever he shows up in? Like, what's the deal? What's the situation?
I think in the movie, when we see him back in the day, he was like a drunk, silly man. Like, he sucks. Like, we have to help him
not suck.
We have to help him not suck, basically. Yeah.
Well, well, that's Metamorphosis.
No, yeah, that was basically it.
What a just absolutely dysfunction of an ending.
It started off so solid, and I was so with it, and then it just nosedived off a cliff.
Absolutely shit the bed in the last minutes.
Gonna have to throw an illogical on this one.
Same. Did you have any trivia about it?
I already covered most of the fun stuff, but I will say something that I do think is interesting. Apparently, we get a shot of the Enterprise from like dead center in front of the saucer section in space, and that is the only time we ever see it. It's just in this episode.
Does it look funny? Is it like a forward-facing Phineas sort of situation?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't think so. I just wanted to make the joke. So the comic book.
Yes, please.
So in the comic, they go back to this area because like some ships have gone missing. They were testing out like faster warp drives basically, and these ships kept going missing. And so they go back to the planet and they find Zephyr and the companion, who are I guess still living in secrecy because I didn't mention it, but they're like, don't tell anybody that we're here. I want to sleep with my corpse bride in peace for the rest of my life. So they go back and they find her, and they then somehow she like soups up the Enterprise. So Cloud companion leaves the corpse of Nancy and then soups up the Enterprise. They go like warp 13 or some shit, or 15 I think it was, break into a different dimension where they see all the other ships that went missing, but the ships like start shooting at them, and then it turns out that they have broken through into the dimension that the companion is originally from, and other Cloud people have taken over all of the people on all of those ships because they like, I guess, died when they went super speed or whatever, but the Enterprise crew doesn't because the companion was shielding them when they came through or something. And they're like, okay, we'll let you leave, but you have to leave her. And they're like, no, we have to keep her with us. It's very important. So then they go back and she just like repossesses the corpse. And that's the whole thing.
Well, so. What happens to the body when she's not possessing it? Does she just slump over dead?
We never really see it. It's unclear. I think it's dead, but there is a bit where Bones, because I think Bones stays behind with it. There is a bit where Bones is like, "Oh, you only had a couple minutes left," and I don't know if that was like until the disease like took back over and killed her, or if like until the body like rotted and then wasn't enough left for her to repossess this corpse.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I don't know.
Put this companion in the prison for war crimes.
Yeah,
get this lady out of here.
Not a fan of it. On to the next one then.
Yes, Journey to Babel, a less problematic episode to be sure.
A better episode for sure. This one starts on the Enterprise, where Kirk and Bones are getting dressed together, despite having their own rooms.
We're friends, okay?
It's okay if we see each other's dicks. We love each other.
What's a butt to butt touch between friends?
I mean, realistically, that's his doctor. He's seen him naked before.
Absolutely.
Anyway, it turns out they're picking up a bunch of ambassadors to go to a big meeting, and the only one left to pick up is the Vulcans. They tell you this a little bit later, but I'll just tell you this now. They're going to a neutral planet called Babel to decide, or Babel, whatever, to decide if a collection of planets called Coridan should be admitted into the Federation, because I guess they have a bunch of dilithium, and so they want that, but they don't want to take it, so they were going to just like allow them to join the Federation. And I think this is the first time that we become acquainted with the fact that the Federation is not just humans. Like, it's implied, like, we know that they offered a board seat or whatever the hell to a Vulcan at one point, and then she turned it down, but we never found out if like a different Vulcan got on the board or whatever it's called. The Admiralty or something.
So, interestingly enough, this is one of my trivia things that I have here, but it suits it now. This episode introduces, we see a bunch of different aliens here that we'll get to.
Yeah.
But importantly, it introduces Andorians and Tellarites.
Yeah. The pigs and the blue guys.
Later episodes will establish that Terrans from Earth, Vulcans, Andorians, and Tellarites are the 4 founding members of the Federation.
Oh, cool.
So that's the High Council.
Pretty good.
We got pig guys, blue guys, humans, and Vulcans.
And elves.
Humans and pointy-eared humans.
Yeah. So we've got humans, elves, pig dwarfs, and drow? What are the blue ones?
They're like Draenei from Warcraft.
We'll go with that.
I don't know.
We'll go with that.
Sure.
Chekhov says the Sarek's party is ready to be received, and when it lands, a force of useless security officers line up with their phasers out, and they cross their arms in like an X. It's, I'm sure, some kind of salute, but it looks A, a little aggressive, and B, very stupid.
More stupid than that, though, I need to point out, using the damn shuttle again.
Yeah, we got to. And it's the Galileo.
Come on.
Because when it lands, they're like, "We're receiving the Galileo." They sent the Galileo to pick up Sarek. How rude.
People have died in this thing,
also,
man.
We have transporters.
That's what I'm saying.
What are we doing?
Now, don't get me wrong. Now we're crossing a weird, I don't want to say an ethical dilemma, but I really like space shuttles. Nothing's cooler than having to like jump in a space shuttle and fly. Like in Mass Effect, you know, when Commander Shepard has to like last ditch effort jump into a space shuttle and his companion grabs him and pulls him inside and you fly away from an exploding thing. That's cool.
We love that.
That's awesome. That being said, Star Trek has iconically teleporters.
Yeah.
Transporters.
We've got that.
I don't know why we're not using them.
And the shuttles also canonically suck.
People die in there all the time. Can I be honest? As cool as I think space shuttles are, if I had a teleporter, I'm not driving my car to work.
No, hell no. Are you kidding me? I'm sleeping an extra 30 minutes and teleporting.
Come on.
Also, Bones tries to do a Vulcan salute and he can't do it, which is a funny bit. He says that it hurts more than the uniform.
Presumably because he has horrific
He has
arthritis.
really bad arthritis, yeah. Uh, then the Romulan guy from that other episode and his human wife Amanda introduce themselves and they do a weird finger
Wow.
thing that looks kind of stupid, but not as stupid
Wow.
as the wife Amanda's collar.
All right, we're gonna get into the next trivia. You ready?
Yeah.
It's about the finger thing.
Oh.
So throughout the episode, we do see Sarek and his human wife Amanda like kind of touch like index and middle fingers together and like kind of rub them. It's like a I don't know, imagine holding hands without holding hands, right?
It's for anyone who it's basically the exact same thing that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo have done since the Wicked situation, where like
Mm.
they like hold each other's fingers as like I don't know what's happening there, but it looks very much
Well,
like that.
I will say that the reason this came about is because the actors, Mark Lenard and Jane Wyatt, they approached Leonard Nimoy and asked for advice on how the two of them could display their affection for one another in a subtle, like Vulcan-ish way. And the reason they did that was because, as people who have listened to previous episodes will know, Leonard Nimoy came up with both the Vulcan neck pinch and the Vulcan salute.
And I think
So he came up with all of it. He's basically
yeah,
the one writing the lore for what Vulcans are.
didn't he
So they were
come
like, "Hey, you know what this is? Can you tell us what to do?"
didn't he come up with Live Long and Prosper too? Wasn't that him?
Yes,
I think he did.
I
And then there
believe
was like
so.
a callback, like a response thing to that. And I'm sure he made up that as well, but I don't
Hmm.
remember what it was.
And so he kind of like said, "Well, just do this with your fingers." And so there you go. He's continuing to add lore to what being a Vulcan is.
Give him a writing credit. Do it. Um,
Honestly.
Kirk then asks Spock. Oh, we should also point. I did say it, but we should also say, yeah, Sarek is played by the Romulan guy from what was that
Mm.
called? Something of Terror, Balance of Terror.
But yeah.
Yeah. So a returning actor, and he doesn't look any different. They even gave him the same hair.
Hmm.
Kirk asks Spock if he would like to beam down to see his parents before they leave, and Spock's like, "No, these are my parents."
You simple fool.
Sarek
They're
and
right in
Amanda.
front of you. And Kirk is like, "Buh buh buh."
And then we jump to a commercial. As Kirk is giving Sarek and Amanda a tour, Amanda stops to make fun of Spock uh, about him not smiling. She's like, "You've been with the humans for a long time and you still don't smile." And he's like, "Nah, it's stupid. And I don't like them." And then she also teases him for not visiting for 4 years, which is a very mom thing to do. And you never write me anymore. Why don't you send me
Hmm.
letters?
Hmm. Hmm.
You got transporter technology. You sent the Galileo? I know what happens in the Galileo. As it turns out, him and his dad are on bad terms because Sarek is not happy that Spock chose to go to Starfleet over the Vulcan Science Academy, which is, I assume, their version of Starfleet. Although it's
Yeah.
never expressly said, but it's heavily implied.
It's the Vulcan Science Academy is something that gets thrown around every once in a while. It's Bard's College.
Yeah. Uhura comes over a small TV screen and says that they picked up a weird transmission, but they couldn't track it because it was so small. But it must be close. And then we cut to like a reception room where there's a bunch of cool alien dudes walking around. There's some wizards and some gold little people, and the blue elves with antennas and that are wearing chainmail, and some pig guys who are just always arguing in like every scene that we see them. They're picking a fight with somebody.
Imagine the Star Wars cantina scene, but not good.
Yeah, which is the lowest budget humanly possible.
So I'm sorry to say it, but if you compare the two, come on,
Yeah. Well,
one's definitely
the mask that the what'd you say they're called? Tellurides? I've got it written down here somewhere.
yeah.
The pig guys
Hmm.
are wearing look really bad. Like there's a notable gap between the eyes of the mask and the eyes of the person.
It's weird. The big pucked eyes are very strange, and I don't know what the maybe they were supposed to just look like just black eyes, like they have maybe they're like heavily eyeshadowed on purpose, and this is just one of those things where we're watching on HD 4K,
Oh, and so you're
so
not
we can
supposed
see
to.
those eyeballs, but like on old school TVs, it's just supposed to be like a big
A black.
black orb.
Yeah, I could see that.
That might be it.
That's probably it, actually. He's also, so the pig guy, we'll find out later his name is Gav. But the pig guy's also doing the same thing that What's His Ass was doing in the I'm Wearing Silver Contacts episode.
Oh yeah.
Where No Man Has Gone Before, where he has to, you can tell because the mask is so bad, he has to like hold his head weird so that he can see who he's talking to. So he ends up like kind of looking like he's looking up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like you can tell that it's not, the makeup is just like actively bad. Like it is not functional or aesthetic.
Unfortunately not.
Bones comes up to Amanda at the reception and asks for dirt on Spock, basically, and she's like, "Well, he did have a pet, sell it, which was a big fat teddy bear," and Bones gets so happy.
A teddy bear.
The look on Bones' face is adorable because he's
He
like,
gets.
"I'm never gonna let my best friend Spock live this down."
I'm gonna make fun of you forever.
Which then Spock is like, well, but it was alive and it has 6-inch fangs, which is probably true, but
You
who
know what's
cares?
great? You know
Yeah.
what's great about this little teddy bear thing? In the animated show, we see it. There's a whole episode about Spock's childhood pet,
Oh my god, I can't
and
wait.
it's no, it's not a happy episode if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
he has to kill it and eat its heart. Chekhov has detected a ship, so they all go to the bridge to investigate. But before we get to that, in their room, Amanda and Sarek have a really cute little interaction where she makes fun of him for clearly being proud of Spock, and he's like, "Nope, I'm just being logical. I'm a logical guy." I think it was cute. I liked the bit.
I forgot to mention there were multicolored food cubes again in the little banquet
Yeah,
hall.
and the little gold guys like put them in their drinks like ice cubes.
I did. That's weird, but who's to judge their culture? I did write them down in my notes as little gold goobers, so
Yeah, the Gooberites.
they've got to have names.
I'm sure they do. As the Enterprise approaches the strange ship, it flees really, really fast. It's like warp. They say what warp, but it's a fast warp. It's high warp.
Big
So
warp
it gets
energy.
away, but doesn't shoot at them, and then starts shadowing them. It's like following. Back in the drinking room, Sarek takes a pill, and a pig guy, a Tellarite, this is where I've written it down, it turns out, named Gav,
Hmm.
confronts him, demanding to know how he's going to vote about letting those people join the Federation. And Sarek is like, fine, I'll tell you, I'm going to vote yes. And he gets really mad. Gav does. And Sarek has to be like, well, it'll stop people from illegally mining their stuff. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Gav?
Ooh.
Because apparently his species, I guess, has been just illegally mining the dilithium away from these people who are too few or too weak, it's unclear, to properly defend all of their territory. And then Gav sort of like attacks Sarek, but for like 1 second, and then Sarek pushes him off really fast, and it gets broken up by Kirk. It doesn't matter because literally the next scene is Gav being found dead in one of the Jeffries tubes covered in spiderwebs, which doesn't come
Oh my
up, but
god.
there's clearly spiderwebs in the tube.
He's dead. I wrote he was killed and stuffed into a vent. It's horrific.
We're lucky he wasn't on a spit roast with an apple in his mouth.
Oh well. Oh, they call me Mr. Pig.
Mr. Big. Kirk receives the news while shirtless, of course, which because we all need to see how good his chest looks in this episode. He did several push-ups right before that shot. After the break, Bones finds that Gav's neck has also been broken by someone who would know how to do it real good, and they have a Vulcan word for how to kill people by hitting their neck real good. And so they're like, this has got to be a Vulcan who did that. And then they combine that with the fact that Sarek and Gav just got into a fight, and they're like, it was probably Sarek, right? So they go to question him. And when they get there, they're like, what have you been doing for the last hour? And he's like, I was in private meditation. And he starts being really, like, secretive about it in the same way Spock was about the Ponfar, in a way that makes me think he was probably jerking off. Right?
Man, can I say what I wrote down?
Yeah.
Sarek has no alibi because he was jerking off. That's what I wrote down.
He was spanking it in the meditation room. But then he collapses with a heart issue, so we can't make fun of the fact that he was jerking off 10 minutes ago.
He's faking it.
On the bridge, Kirk tries to talk to Spock about his dad being in the hospital, I guess. But he instead completely has fallen into his work, and he is focused on identifying what the weird ship following them is, which they discover is in contact with someone on board the ship.
We've got a spy.
In the med bay, we first of all see Nurse Chapel. She's in this episode. Wow, there she is.
Yay, Nurse Chapel.
And we find out that Sarek has had a heart attack and has hidden 3 others from his wife because they're like, have you had this before? And she's like, no. And he's like, yeah.
It's borderline comical because they were like, well, what other times have you had heart attacks? And he's like, well, a couple months ago, last week, before lunch, today.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
He has talked to a doctor about it before. He's on some kind of medicine about it, which is the pill that he took in the reception room. But clearly it's not working. And they're like, he needs some kind of surgery, but Bones has never operated on a Vulcan before. And also they don't have enough Vulcan blood in the med bay or whatever to do a proper transfusion. And on top of all of that, he also has a rare blood type that's like T negative or something, because he's a Vulcan, of course. And, so they're like, we just don't have enough of that blood. Which, first of all, they should probably have enough blood to do a transfusion. They have a Vulcan there who has the same blood type.
Well, he does, but they also say because he is half human, it's like diluted. So, like, Spock's blood will work, but then you can take a lot more of it.
So, do you think let's say that Spock was in the hospital and they had to give him a transfusion, would they just hang up like one human bag and one Vulcan bag? Or can Spock take Vulcan blood, you think? I'm sure this will never come up or matter. But because my argument is like, you have a Vulcan crew member and you don't have enough blood to do a transfusion from the blood bags that you have. Like, that's not responsible.
Theoretically, he can't take just human blood because human blood is red and Vulcan blood is green.
Right.
So, like, Spock has green blood, so I don't think throwing red in there will do anything.
So, yeah.
Although, talking about this, I am picturing the bit at the end, One Piece, and at the end of Fishman Island.
Oh, yeah.
Where Luffy gives Jinbei his blood.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, so, like, Kirk would... Even if the red blood wouldn't help, Kirk would give it anyways. This is my answer.
That's fair. Spock insists on doing the transfusion himself, and like you said, because his blood is part human, they would have to take enough blood out of him that it would probably like kill him, and so he wants to take a not hypothetical, what's it called, like unproven drug, an untested drug that would double the amount of blood his body produces so that he can give a lot without dying. But they're like, it might just kill you because it'll tax all of your organs to do all this blood production, which is fair. And he's like, no, I definitely got to do it. It's the only way to save my dad. And they're like, yeah, okay, makes sense. At first they tell him that they can't do it, but within 5 seconds, it's going to be the only option. So
this whole part is amazing and also kind of stupid because something's going to happen. That I'll let you get into in just a second. But something's going to happen that basically Spock flips and it becomes, oh, well, now I can't do this because I can't have the procedure because I need to be awake and alert and take care of the ship. And so we go from, in the span of like 5 minutes, we go from Spock being like, I need to give my dad all my blood.
Yeah.
And both Bones and Spock's mom are like, no, you can't. And Spock's like, bet? And then 5 minutes later, they're like, all right, Spock, we're ready to take the blood. He's like, I can't do it because I have to do this thing. They're like, but Spock, you have to. And Spock says, bet?
Yeah.
He's like, I do what I want.
There's no winning. But yeah, you're right. So Spock leaves, seeming like 100% set on doing this thing. He's like, I'll be doing whatever if you need me, or like when you need me. Like, this is going to happen. We're going to do this. And then in a different episode, it feels like there's just a hard cut to Kirk having a fight with one of the Andorians.
Man, I thought I missed something.
The cut is abrupt.
It's actually crazy. Like I rewound and I was like, what,
What
what,
happened?
what?
What was going on here?
But no, just fighting a blue guy.
Who he does beat, but not before the Andorian stabs him with a weird dagger.
Stabs him in the ass.
Stabs him in the ass.
It's in the back, but in the moment, I was like, oh, I got stabbed in the ass.
He calls Spock on the intercom to be like, "Hey man, I just got stabbed, send security," and then we get a commercial break. In the medbay, Kirk is knocked out, and Spock is now in command, which is why he cannot do the transfusion anymore. Bones is like, "Hey, your dad got worse. We have to do it like now, or he's going to die." And he's like, "Well, now I can't because I'm in charge of the ship, and there's some crazy shit going on. So I'm not going to do that. Sorry." And so he goes to interrogate the Andorian, whose name is apparently Thelev, and he's in the brig, but he won't speak, and his boss is absolutely no help, and also looks really rough. Like I don't even know if it's the makeup or if it's the man's face. But there's a close up, and I'm like, ugh. It looks like one of those SpongeBob close ups. You know what I
mean? I know exactly what you mean.
So Amanda goes to Spock in his chamber, his room, and tries to talk him into doing the transfusion, but he refuses. And she says, "If your dad dies, I'll hate you for the rest of my life." And then she slaps the shit out of him. Kirk wakes up, fakes being all right so that he can take control of the ship because Bones feels ambivalent on the situation. And he's like, "I'll pretend to take control of the ship, and then as soon as Spock is in surgery, I'll hand the controls over to Scotty." And they're like, "Cool, sounds great." So he goes to do that, and he tricks Spock into doing it. And then as Spock is leaving, he's like, call Scotty in the room, call Scotty in the room."
I felt the stitches opening, please.
Yeah. But before anything can happen, the other ship attacks and is now zip-zapping all over the place. So he can't hand over control, I guess, or won't, because there's active combat happening. But the surgery has started. Spock tries to say something while he's in surgery. He's like, "Oh, I figured a thing out. I gotta go tell them." And Chapel's like, "No," and she just like tranks him. And then in the brig, the prisoner tries to escape, and I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna do it because our security guys suck." But then they actually knock him out, and he falls over, and one of his antennas breaks.
What a twist!
Because he's not a real Andorian.
So what's funny about that is we, as the audience, have never seen an Andorian before.
Right.
We're just assuming, and it's not like they even say, like, these are Andorians, they have little antennas. They're just there. And we're just like, okay, yeah, I guess that's what's going on. And then this dude, it breaks off, and like as the viewer, our initial response is like, is that supposed to happen?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you guys work. Maybe they're like lizard's tails and they just come off when
you can grow that back. Well, and the guy's walking away with it, the security guy, because there's like a transmitter falls out of it. And he's walking away with it over to the intercom, and he's just carrying around like this little blue mushroom looking thing. And he's like, "I ain't a real Andorian." Also, we found a transmitter. And it was like, okay.
It's just, we talked a lot about the other episode, Metamorphosis, being problematic for certain reasons involving a woman's consent to live and not live.
Yeah.
This episode has Blueface, so how do you feel about that?
It's interesting. I think I'm gonna let it slide. They
say at some point that this guy had like surgery to be able to impersonate an Andorian, which I don't know if that just means they stapled these little fake antennas to his head.
Well, they say what race he is, and we've seen that race before.
What is he?
They say that he's an Orion, so he's one of the green dancing ladies.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So he's a green guy who dyed himself blue
and put on a white wig, I guess.
That is problematic, I would say, and it reminds me...
The bigger issue, he's an assassin.
It reminds me of Tropic Thunder.
Oh.
Where Robert Downey Jr.'s character has pigmentation surgery.
Yeah. He's just trying to get into the role.
Yeah, I mean, it worked, I guess. They all bought it, too, which says more about the Enterprise than it does about this guy.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, man. These Andorians all look the same to me. So the fight continues with the other ship while the surgery's happening. They're shaking a bunch. At one point, the power goes out, and then Bones is like, call down to engineering and let them know to prioritize medbay, which like probably should have been known. Like hospitals have better grids than the rest of America typically, so you would think that would just already be the case, but whatever. Um, Eventually, to beat them, they fake that they're dead in the water so that the ship will like get in close and stop moving super fast. And it totally works, and they shoot it. And Kirk is like, "Okay, cool. See if you can beam over survivors. We'll take them prisoner." And then the ship just explodes. And
Oh
the,
damn! Did we do
and
that?
and the Andorian who's not an Andorian is like, yeah, this was a suicide mission. They blew up the ship so that you couldn't take a prisoner. And also, I'm dying of a poison that I took. Sorry.
I took the poison 3 days ago.
It's
He
actually
just
kind
keels
of
over.
it's actually kind of funny. He's like, I've got 10 minutes left to live, and then 2 seconds later he goes, "Oops," and dies. I was wrong.
That is pretty funny. I like the playing possum bit.
It's good, yeah.
I do think that the solving the problem of this specific combat encounter happens pretty quickly, but I like that they just took the gambit and just like pretend we're dead.
Yeah.
All right, get him.
Well, but
it works.
isn't correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the same thing they did in Balance of Terror?
I don't think.
Didn't they do that to like make them unmask themselves?
If they did, it played out a little differently to the point where
well, because they ended up shooting like a nuke and blowing them up or something, but I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Anyway,
if you rewatch it and then it is or is not, if we look stupid questioning and not remembering, edit this part out.
Okay. The surgery also went well. Amanda has a good bit where she's like, "Man, you guys suck, and you need to stop being so logical all the time. I almost lost both of you, and I'm a mom." And then Sarek and Spock instead bond over messing with her, being like, "Well, why'd you marry her? She's not very logical," or whatever. And then Spock says that the intruder was an Orion, one of the Green Dancer people, who wanted to raid the system after making the Federation go to war with each other. So I guess the Orions are not our friends. And then Bones forces both Spock and Kirk to stay in bed and shut up after, and literally yells at them to shut up. And he gets really happy that he gets the last word. I don't know if that was a running joke that he never gets the last word, but that's how they kind of treat it in this moment. So
yeah, it's like a small fourth wall break kind of, where he does all but look at the camera and says, I get to end the episode.
It's me. I get to do it. Yeah. Anyway, you got any trivia for me?
I got a couple things. So, interestingly enough, I don't know how much you liked Sarek, but apparently back then, a lot of people really liked Sarek because for 2 weeks after this episode, Mark Lenard received more fan mail than Leonard Nimoy.
That's crazy. I mean, I liked him. I didn't like him more than Spock, but I guess, we've had 20 or whatever episode. What are we at? Like 30 episodes or some shit?
Yeah, I think
either way,
we're deep in there.
We've had time. I actually did look at it. Here's my trivia.
We are coming up on like 40 actually.
We are now exactly in the middle of the show. I remember looking at that when I was looking at the episodes. So we are precisely in the middle after this episode.
If you're listening to this, we're halfway done.
We're halfway done. We're almost out of here, baby.
Another thing, Jane Wyatt, who again played Mother,
right, Amanda,
was not familiar with the series, and upon reading the script, assumed it was a comedy.
That's really funny.
And she showed up to work and was like, "Oh, y'all are serious," and so just kind of rolled with it.
Yeah.
So Gene Roddenberry himself wrote the scene where Amanda tells Kirk all about kind of the rift between Spock and Sarek. One of the writers said to Roddenberry that it feels a little inappropriate for her to discuss with not only someone she just met, but Spock's like commanding officer. Mm-hmm. And Roddenberry basically said, "Shut up," because he wanted Kirk to be more involved in the episode.
That's fair. I would just say that's a very mom thing to do.
It is. It absolutely is. Yeah. Also, I think it gets a pass because I know that we're a military ship and we're all very professional and stuff. But like, Kirk is Spock's best friend. So
he's Spock's best friend. He's very charming. You can tell that you can trust him. And also, imagine being Amanda. Like, you have not had a person with like a sense of humor to talk to in years.
Gossip does not exist on Vulcan, so she needs to say something.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm for it. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Anything else?
That about does it.
So I'm definitely giving this an engage. I think this is a really fun episode. We get a lot of cool aliens. I love the costumes, even though they are clearly very low budget. It's a fun little murder mystery. Although I do think there's maybe a little bit too much going on. That would be my one negative for this episode, is I think having the ship attacking in like this like drama of who's, we've got a werewolf on the ship situation, and also Sarek is dying of a heart attack. Like, there may have been a better way to put those together. Like, maybe instead of him having a heart attack, he could have been hurt by the assassin or something. Because it feels like we're telling two different stories, like A plot, B plot, but they're both have the importance of an A plot. You know what I mean? And so it just feels like
I agree. Much. I think what makes it just a bit too much is not only Sarek having heart issues, but having a somewhat frayed relationship between Spock and Sarek that we're trying to work through. Once you like stack those two things with there's an assassin spy going on, and then this ship is like
we're getting
Sarek needing a transfusion. It's our ticking clock, so I'm good with that. It's just how we got there. So yeah, it's a little, I guess I would say a little bloated, but
yeah, for sure.
It's still a good episode. Definitely better of the two that we've watched for this one.
No doubt.
And, interesting, I was kind of adding up season 2 so far, because this was our 10th episode of season 2.
Hey.
And we're kind of 50-50 on good and bad episodes. We've had like 5 of each.
Just the season 2?
I know that... just the season 2. I know that our scores are logical and engaged differ a little bit every once in a while, but I think we're still mostly on the same page of like, this is dumb, this is stupid, I don't like that. So the ones that we at least that I've given illogical versus engage were 5 and 5 for season 2.
No way. That's really good.
Yeah. I want more engage, but other than that, yeah.
Pretty close. Well, let us know what you thought about these episodes in the comments down below on Spotify and YouTube. Those are the 2 places where you can find us. If you found us in one of those places, maybe go to the other place and hit subscribe. Even if you don't listen there, we'd really appreciate it. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD, or you can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skylar8bit.
And until next time, everybody, let's see what's out there.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time where